You wake up before dawn in ancient Egypt, and guess what? The sun hasn't even risen yet, but you're already expected to be productive. No snooze button, no coffee, no scrolling through your phone for just 5 more minutes. Nope. The rooster crows. Or more accurately, the sound of your neighbors starting their day jolts you awake. Welcome to life in the land of the Pharaohs, where every single day is a grind, and your alarm clock is literally the entire village getting up at the crack of dawn. Your bed? Oh, oh, it's not exactly a Tempur-Pedic. If you're lucky, you've got a wooden frame with some woven reeds on top. If you're not so lucky, you're sleeping on a mud brick platform with a thin mat. Either way, your back is probably killing you. But hey, at least you have a headrest. Yeah, not a pillow. A wooden or stone headrest that keeps your head elevated and supposedly protects you from scorpions and snakes while you sleep. Comfortable? Absolutely not. But it beats waking up with a cobra in your face. You stumble out of your tiny mud brick house into the Egyptian heat. And let me tell you, it's already warming up. The sun is just starting to peek over the horizon. And you know in a few hours it's going to be absolutely brutal. But there's no time to complain. You've got work to do, and the overseer doesn't care if you're tired, hungry, or questioning all your life choices. First things first, breakfast. And no, it's not a fancy spread of eggs, bacon, and fresh squeezed orange juice. You're getting bread. Again, the same bread you had yesterday and the day before that. It's coarse, gritty, and full of sand because the grinding stones used to make flour leave tiny particles in everything. Your teeth? They're slowly being ground down with every bite. Dental care in ancient Egypt is basically non-existent, so by the time you hit 30, your teeth are basically destroyed. But hey, at least you've got food, right? Some people don't even have that. You wash down the bread with some beer. Yes, beer for breakfast. Before you get excited, this isn't your modern craft IPA. This is thick, nutritious, and honestly tastes more like liquid bread than anything you'd want to drink at a party. But it's safer than water, which is often contaminated, so bottoms up. You chug it down and head out for the day. Now, depending on who you are, your day looks very different. Let's say you're a farmer, which statistically you probably are. About 80% of ancient Egyptians are farmers. So congratulations, you've won the agricultural lottery. You grab your tools and head to the fields. The Nile has flooded recently, leaving behind rich, fertile soil. This is prime planting season, and you've got to make the most of it. You're out there plowing, planting, and praying to the gods that this year's harvest is good because if it's not, you're screwed. Taxes are based on how much you produce, and the Pharaoh's tax collectors don't care if you had a bad year. They want their cut, and they want it now. The sun climbs higher, and the heat becomes unbearable. You're drenched in sweat, your back aches from bending over all morning, and you're pretty sure you're about to pass out. But you can't stop. There's too much work to do. Around midday, you take a break. You find some shade, drink more of that delicious breakfast beer, and eat more bread. Maybe if you're lucky, you've got some onions or a bit of fish to go with it. Luxury, but let's say you're not a farmer. Maybe you're a craftsman, a carpenter, or a potter. Your day isn't much easier. You're working in a cramped workshop surrounded by tools, dust, and the constant pressure to produce quality work. The nobles and wealthy Egyptians want furniture, pottery, and jewelry, and they want it perfect. One mistake and you might not get paid. Or worse, you might get beaten. Yeah, workplace safety standards aren't exactly a thing here. Or maybe you're a laborer working on one of the Pharaoh's grand construction projects. A pyramid, a temple, something massive that will stand for thousands of years. Sounds impressive, right? Sure, until you realize you're hauling massive stone blocks in the blazing sun for 12 hours a day. The stones weigh tons, and you're moving them with nothing but ropes, ramps, and sheer human effort. No cranes, no machinery, just you and thousands of other workers sweating, straining, and praying you don't get crushed. The overseers are everywhere, watching, shouting, making sure no one slacks off, and if you do, you get whipped. Simple as that. So you keep moving, keep pulling, keep pushing, because stopping isn't an option. Your hands are blistered, your muscles scream, and you're pretty sure you've aged 10 years in the past week. But the Pharaoh needs his monument, and you're going to help build it whether you like it or not. Now, if you're one of the lucky few, maybe you're a scribe. Congratulations, you've hit the jackpot. Scribes don't do manual labor. They sit in the shade, write things down, and basically run the entire administrative side of Egypt. You've spent years learning hieroglyphics, which is no easy feat. There are over 700 symbols to memorize, and you've got to know them all. But now that you do, you're set. You record taxes, write letters, keep inventories, and generally make sure the kingdom doesn't fall apart. It's still work, but at least you're not hauling stones or getting whipped in a field. As the day drags on, the sun finally starts to set. Thank the gods. You head back home, exhausted, filthy, and ready to collapse. But the day isn't over yet. You've still got chores. If you're married, your wife has been busy all day too, weaving cloth, grinding grain, and taking care of the kids. Yeah, life in ancient Egypt is an equal opportunity grind. Everyone works, everyone suffers, and everyone just tries to survive. Dinner is, surprise, more bread. Maybe some vegetables if the harvest was good. Maybe a bit of meat if you're really lucky, but don't count on it. Meat is expensive, and most people only eat it during festivals or special occasions. So you eat your bread, drink your beer, and try to forget how much your entire body hurts. After dinner, if you've got any energy left, you might socialize. Maybe you play a board game like Senate, which is basically ancient Egypt's version of chess. Or maybe you just sit around and gossip with your neighbors. Who's getting married? Who's having a baby? Who got in trouble with the authorities? Small town drama is the same, no matter what century you're in. But eventually exhaustion wins. You head back to your uncomfortable bed, rest your head on that ridiculous wooden headrest, and close your eyes. Tomorrow, you'll do it all over again. Same routine, same struggles, same relentless grind. Because that's life in ancient Egypt. You're not a pharaoh, you're not a noble, you're just a regular person trying to survive in one of the most demanding civilizations in history. And here's the kicker. While you're out there sweating, starving, and working yourself to the bone, the pharaoh is living in absolute luxury. He's got servants for everything. He doesn't walk, he gets carried, he doesn't cook, he has chefs. He doesn't even dress himself. He's got people for that. He wears the finest linen, eats the best food, and lives in a palace that makes your mud brick house look like a joke. But you know what? You don't resent him, at least not openly, because the pharaoh isn't just a king. He's a god, literally. He's the living embodiment of Horus, the falcon god, and the son of Ra, the sun god. He's the bridge between the mortal world and the divine. He ensures the Nile floods, the crops grow, and Egypt prospers. Without him, chaos would reign. Or at least that's what the priests keep telling you. So you pay your taxes, you follow the rules, and you pray to the gods that next year will be better. You visit the local temple, leave offerings, and hope that Osiris, Isis, or Anubis will look favorably on you. Religion isn't just a part of life in ancient Egypt, it is life. Every action, every decision, every moment is tied to the gods. You don't question it. You just believe. And when you die, which could be tomorrow or 30 years from now, you hope you've lived well enough to make it to the afterlife. The wealthy get elaborate tombs, mummification, and all the supplies they need for the journey. You'll probably get a simple burial in the sand with maybe a few personal items if you're lucky. But you still hope your heart will be weighed against the feather of Maat and found worthy. Because the alternative, being devoured by Ammit, the soul-eating demon, is too terrifying to imagine. So that's your life. Wake up, work until you can't anymore. Eat bread, drink beer, pray to the gods, and repeat. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, but it's your reality. You're living among the pharaohs, in the shadow of the pyramids, in one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. And while history will remember the kings, the monuments, and the gods, you're just trying to make it through another day. One sunrise at a time.